Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been trailing the controversies coming from the inside story of the IDP camps. That's the politics, the alleged politics of the IDPs. And our guest on this episode of Question Time is the chairman, Borno State Emergency Management Authority, Malam Ahmed Satomi. Don't go away.
At an international conference, the governor's attention, Governor Kashim Shettima's attention, was drawn to the plight of the IDPs living in extreme starvation.
No, this is not true, I think. If you go to our camps are well secured. We entirely changed the feeding system from central cooking to the world standard advised by the WFP to cater for dry ration system using the household feeding system. This household feeding system gives them option, gives them dignity to cook what they want for themselves. And we are not doing this blindly. After getting the data, we sat down with all the food sector team concerned to what is the required food per person per day in terms of cereal, in terms of pulses, and in terms of condiments and fat. So the cereal content required by an individual per day is 320 grams. Not the quantity of the food matters, it's the kilocalorie content matters.
We've seen images of faces of extreme malnutrition. And we are made to understand that the IDP camps get relief materials from NEMA, from the federal government, and what is responsible for such level of extreme starvation?
It will interest you to know that government set up this nursing village purposely for malnutrition. We have about 5 centers here in Maiduguri, purposely set up through the health sector under the able leadership of the Borno State Ministry of Health, led by the Honorable Commissioner of Health, purposely for malnutrition of different stages, either man, that's the moderate acute malnutrition, or some, the severe acute malnutrition. Maybe the images you saw, there was a time His Excellency's attention was drawn in Bama when military liberated a community called Gulumba Kumshe. So there were a lot of malnourished children in Bama. So he asked us directly to evacuate them to a nursing center and a special center to be set up. And this is the center we call the nursing village. If you go there now, out of 2,311 children, women and children we brought in, we only lost 15. They are all stabilized. The school at emergency is in place. Those images you saw prior to this crisis, these are images at the spot when the military liberated them before the attention of the government is being called. And for your information, there was no agency at the international body that do directly donate food to government for distribution. They went themselves, we coordinate, they have their own staffs in the process of the distribution, and all the security agencies are on ground while the distribution are taking place. No single agency that ever donate food directly on monthly basis or on timely basis to be distributed to the IDP camps or a center. One, the feeding system of these camps is designed in such a way, prior to this government, is Borno State government that shouldering the feeding to all these camps. But when this government came on board, there was an MOU between National Emergency Management Agency and the State Emergency Management Agency that the federal government provides the raw food while the state government complement with condiments, cooking material, kitchen utensils, and firewood, diesel for operating of the generators at the camps, etc., etc. And this is the MOU that is going on up to date. And NEMA donate the food directly to SEMA, coordinate together and distribute it to the camp based on the kilocalorie content and the dry ratio that is being calculated and agreed upon both parties.
But did you come across the picture that went viral of people repackaging relief materials from the federal government, from NEMA?
Yes, I came across the picture last year, but it was an old picture, which I think before my assumption to office that it happens, And I didn't know the reason why the diversion is taking place. But prior to my inception to office, I know the NEMA politicized such kind of images in anticipation of getting votes from the IDPs. And I don't know what is actually happened, but I saw the back, but it's an old video, and some people just wants to play politics with it, tarnish the image of the partners that are in this critical managing of these humanitarian affairs.
What makes you so sure that that was an old picture?
If you right click on it, it's on computer, it's a still image, you can see the date that was being snapped. So I think if you go to the image, the date is there in the videos and the images. So it's an old video, I think, and I didn't see directly. Maybe some of the comment on social media, they said that rice is being rebacked to Dangote, and for your information, I have never seen Dangote selling rice directly with Dangote sack. So these are the misinformation and mischief makers, just their naysayers wants to, you know, tarnish the image of the government or jeopardize the effort being made by the partners at the hems and affairs of managing the.
Can you look into the camera and tell the world that the conditions, the humanitarian conditions at the IDP camps are up to international standard and there's no case of malnutrition?
Within Maiduguri Metropolitan, there is no case of malnutrition in Borno State within Maiduguri Metropolitan and the IDP camps in general, except those newcomers, because on every day, bit by bit, IDPs are coming out still from the bushes, from their captivity, as a result of the effort by the Nigerian military. Every day, 120 are coming to Dikwa, are coming to Bama, and the military will intercept them, rescue them as a result of the ongoing operation. Believe me, if you go to the camps, there are health facilities on ground that are solely in charge of such cases. But to me, and to my watch, and to my understanding, within Maiduguri Metropolitan, there is no single case of malnutrition going on in the IDP camps.
Are you suggesting that the UN report on malnutrition at the IDP camps is not true?
Yes, it's not true to certain level in Borno State. But believe me, maybe in the satellite camps, I know, because as a result of the displacement, moving from one place to another, there are cases of hunger and malnutrition.
Recently, the Northern Elders attempted to pay a visit to inspect the situation at the IDP camps, and it's on record that they were stopped from gaining access to the IDP camps.
Actually, I'm not aware. Maybe there is a standard in the coordination meeting that if you want to access camp, you will directly come, then we issue access to the camps. But I was just called later by the chairman of the humanitarian agency that the Northern Elder went to Dalori camp in precisely, and they were stopped. And when I'm trying to communicate to the garrison, when they gave them access to enter, they have left already, that their plane is on ground, they have to leave, this and that.
Chairman, Borno State Emergency Management Agency, Engineer Ahmed Satomi, thank you for joining us in this episode of Question Time, and also for giving us the inside story perspective of happenings at the IDP camps. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you, Mr.
And that's it on this episode of Question Time. You may also send us a comment on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Join us next week on another exciting episode of the show on Channels Television. Many thanks for watching. I'm Gbenga Ashiru, signing out.